Oh, how I wish I was somewhere beautiful and warm, but I'm not. So it's been very cold here in Georgia. And it feels like every month I have that one week that is just insanely booked, crazy schedule, but I still have to get dinner on the table. So this week we're going to do 6 dinners and dessert for under $70. And whether you use all of the recipes or just grab one of them, these are all quick and easy things you can make any day of the week. Here is our overview this week, and I just want you to kind of look and see, because not only are we going to do some twists on some very classic dishes, but we're also going to do kind of like a do-it-yourself or a homemade version of rice-a-roni, as well as a Nor pasta side. So we are going to use a little bit of convenience food this week, but you know what? We're really stressing that this is quick meals, time is of essence. This week, our prices come from the Super Walmart in Richmond, Indiana. Now, I've included pretty much everything you will need, but the only things that I do assume that you have already is whatever your preferred cooking oil is, your favorite seasonings, and mustard and Italian seasoning. Mustard and Italian seasonings has been on the shopping list a couple times already, so odds are good you already have them. Don't forget to check your fridge, your freezer, and your pantry, because you may already have some of these options, like some of these items, and don't get stuck on the noodle shapes. So if you have a ton of noodles, but they don't happen to be fettuccine or rotini, don't worry about it. Just pick something that's similar. Now, if you want a copy of the shopping list and all the recipes, go down to the description. I have a link to my website where you can print all these out for free and have copies for yourself. I also have another link below that goes to Walmart. If you click on that link, it'll show you my full grocery list, all the items I picked. You can change your zip code to your area, and then it'll tell you what the total will be at your local store. Keep in mind, though, every once in a while, I may pick an item like hot sauce or barbecue sauce, and it's a regional product. So it's just not available in your area at a low price. You may see that the hot sauce is $12. Well, that's crazy. I would never suggest buying that. So just keep a quick eye, look at everything. If something looks really off, you'll just have to substitute it with another brand or another item. Okay, let's get into our recipes. I am a huge fan of burgers, but sometimes they get a little boring. So this is just a little twist where when we make our burgers with ground turkey, or you could easily substitute ground pork, ground beef, whatever you want, even ground chicken, we are going to add in some of our bacon. But because we're going to need this bacon for another dish, we're going to go ahead and cook it all off in, like the oven, have it all nice and ready. We're going to use about 2/3 of the pack for tonight, and we're going to mix it in with our raw ground meat to make our burgers. The other third you're going to want to put in a Tupperware and save it for another dish. Then we're just going to do some simple potato salad. And I didn't really give you a whole lot of information on the potato salad because honestly, everybody makes it a little bit different. But most people do use mustard and mayo, and you can add whatever else you like. And then for the veggie for tonight, we're going to have the baby carrots. And, if you want to serve that with ranch or just keep them plain, that's totally up to you. And then we are going to top this with some lettuce, tomato, and avocado. And I give you an option here if you want to make kind of like a spicy mayonnaise. But you know what? If your kids don't like spicy, it's totally fine. You can just do regular mayonnaise. Now, our second meal is actually a twist on one of those Nor pasta sides, those little packs where you just add water and you boil it and it's good. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing. I did this recently and it turned out so good. My kids actually liked this better. Now, I'm making this more of an Italian style, so we're going to use Alfredo pasta sauce. But if you wanted to do this more of like their chicken flavor, you could just add some bouillon to this to kind of up that flavor. But it's the same concept of a Nor sides where you're going to take your fettuccine noodles. I like to break them into like thirds or quarters so they're little pieces. Put them in your pan, add your sauce, add your water, add your Italian seasoning, bring it to a boil, reduce heat, cover, and let it simmer for like 15 minutes. When you take the lid off, you let it sit for about 5 minutes. the sauce is gonna thicken up and it tastes just the same. And then we're gonna either serve our chicken on the side and our green beans on the side, or you can just mix it all together so it's more like a one pot meal. We're going to use a rotisserie chicken, and we're going to use about half of the chicken that you pull off for this night's dinner, and we're going to use the other half for another night's dinner. If you already have some cooked chicken at home, maybe in your freezer, definitely use that. Cooking chicken ahead of time and just pulling it and either shredding it or chopping it is a great way to save some time and effort and some money for later on. So that's always a great option. Now, if we have any leftover hamburger buns from the night before, we can easily serve this with some garlic bread. Now, I always get asked for some meal ideas that are kind of low carb, so this is definitely one of those. So we're going to make some Tex-Mex meatballs. This is really, really simple. We're going to take ground turkey, but once again, you can, if you already have ground pork or ground beef, you could easily use that. And we're going to mix that with an egg, some breadcrumbs, and a can of those green chilies. Now, I don't drain mine because it doesn't have a ton of liquid and it kind of makes sure that they are very moist, but that's up to you. And then I add a little bit of taco seasoning, mix that all together. And when I make the meatballs, there's two different ways you can cook them. You can cook them just in a pan on your stove top, and you just kind of cook them like regular. Or what we're going to do is, because a lot of people apparently haven't done this way, is we're going to put them on a sheet pan. Now, I used to either grease it really well, or I put down like some parchment paper or some foil, and then you lay out your meatballs and we're going to bake them. Now, the thing on this is if you make kind of medium-sized meatballs, it's going to make about 10 of them. If you make kind of smaller meatballs, it's about 16 of them. I have found if you just squish them just a little bit to where they're not completely round, then they're not going to kind of roll around on you, and then they're easier to flip. Because I bake these at 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. The timing will vary depending on the size, honestly. But I do like to kind of flip them over halfway just so they get that nice golden brown crunchy part, but that's up to you. And then what we're going to do is instead of serving this over pasta or over rice, which are both great options, we're going to serve this over a salad. We've done like the burger salad, the Big Mac salad. Well, think of this as more of like a Tex-Mex meatball salad. So we're going to have lettuce, tomato, and avocado, and I've put on here cheese as well, but you could leave out the cheese and then it would be similar to a dairy-free option. Our third meal is super simple, and this is going to include our do-it-yourself or homemade version of rice-a-roni. My kids call this yummy rice, and so that's why it says yummy rice. Now, because we've got fettuccine noodles, we're going to go ahead and use those. And what we're going to do is we're going to break these up into little tiny small pieces. You could also use vermicelli or the orzo pasta. Those are all great options. You just want little tiny pasta. And this is super simple. Just like if you had gotten a box of rice-a-roni, you're going to start by putting either butter or oil in your pan. You're going to add your pasta, you're going to add your rice, you're going to stir that around and let it cook for 1 to 2 minutes, and then you're going to add in your favorite seasoning. Now, my kids really like the chicken bouillon in this, and then sometimes we add a little bit of like garlic and herb seasoning, but we kind of play this by ear, and then we add in our water kind of slow, let it come to a boil, reduce heat, cover, and let it simmer for 15 to 18 minutes, and it turns out wonderful. Now, the kielbasa is super simple. I love to buy these when I find them on sale, and I just keep them in my freezer because honestly, they don't even have to be defrosted. You can pull them out, chop them up, throw them in a pan with a little oil, saute them, and then you just add whatever sauce you like. We're going to do barbecue sauce, but if you're not a big fan of barbecue sauce, you can easily do like a sweet and sour sauce or a teriyaki sauce. All of those are awesome. And then we're just going to have a side of frozen corn. Just microwave it per the directions, and you can leave it plain, like that's how my kids like it, or you can add some butter and favorite seasonings and kind of jazz it up a little bit. That's totally up to you. Now, this next one, it's kind of an easy take on like get that kind of pot roast flavor, or even similar to like a stroganoff flavor. And we're going to use ground beef for this one because I really want that beefy flavor. But honestly, you could still do it with ground pork, ground turkey, ground chicken. whatever you have. And we're just simply going to cook our pasta, you know, wait until it's tender and then drain it and then just set it aside. While that's cooking, we're going to go ahead and cook off our ground beef and our mushrooms and our onion, get that all nice and tender, drain off any excess grease. And then in a little bowl, we mix our brown gravy mix with a cup of water, just, so you don't have lumps. You're going to pour that over, let that, come to a boil. So that way it's going to start to thicken up. We're going to add our milk. And then at that point, this is where you have options. Okay. You can add your sweet peas directly in there. And because the sauce is really hot, it's going to defrost those sweet peas. Or you can go ahead and put those in the microwave and steam them per the directions. The other option here is some people like that kind of casserole feel. You could then dump everything into a greased casserole dish, top it with cheese, and bake it off for a couple minutes. That's an option. Third option is we're actually going to end up with half of a block of cream cheese left over. And if you like that stroganoff taste, right after step 3, when you're boiling your gravy mix, you could just chop up your cream cheese into like little chunks and then add it in there and stir it real well till it melts. And then it'll give it that super creamy feeling that you get with stroganoff. So this is just a really great base recipe, and you can kind of switch it up depending on how you're feeling that day. Now, this next meal is one of my favorites, and it's going to use the other half of that rotisserie chicken. And basically, we're going to start by making some air fryer chips. We take, our washed potatoes, we slice them really thin. I have a mandolin that I would use, so you could also just do it with a regular knife. Depending on how thick your potato slices are, will basically depend on how long it takes to cook them in the air fryer. I tend to do them a little thin. I cook them at 340 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes, and I check them about halfway and shake them and adjust the timing as needed. While that is cooking, we're just going to mix together our chopped chicken, our cream cheese. Do let the cream cheese sit out for a little bit, because if it's not soft, it's going to make it a little bit more difficult. We're going to add in some shredded cheese and some ranch seasoning. This is very similar to the cream cheese mix that I make all the time, and I have so many uses for it. And you'll kind of notice that when this all comes together, it kind of reminds me of like that hot chicken dip, but we're going to add bacon to this, and it's going to be a little bit thicker than your traditional the hot chicken dip. And then we're going to take some slider buns. I just got the regular ones that are kind of more like dinner rolls, because those were the cheapest. But if you have a little bit room in your budget, these would be really good on like the pretzel buns or the Hawaiian buns. And you're just going to slice them in half, put the bottom in a pan. Now, because it does have some cheesy goodness, I do usually put down parchment paper or aluminum foil just so I don't get, stuck cheese on my pan. And then I just use a spoon and I fill all the sliders, let that bake for 5 to 7 minutes, just to where everything gets nice and melty. Pull it back out, put your top buns back on, put it in and let it go for another 5 minutes. The bread will get a little toasty, you pull it out, and then we're going to serve this on the side with some steamed broccoli, which you can add butter and favorite seasonings to. But once again, my kids just like it plain. And then, of course, even though these are quote unquote air fryer potato chips, my kids still dip them in ketchup like they're fries. They're just a different shape to them. Now, for dessert this week, we are going to do party banana bread. And what makes this party is because I used confetti or funfetti cake mix. And that's just basically like a white or a yellow cake mix with sprinkles in it. You don't have to do it that way, but my kids just really, really liked the fact that it was like a bread or a cake with sprinkles in it. So it was fun. We're going to use 3 bananas. This is something you could wait till the end of the week. If you don't want to wait till the end of the week and your bananas are not quite ready for banana bread, all you have to do is open them up, put them in a bowl, use a fork to kind of smash them. If they're really firm, just put them in the microwave for 30 seconds, squish them some more with your fork, and then do another 30 seconds if you need to. Add in the oil and the eggs. Beat that really well to where I like it really, really smooth so I don't have huge chunks of banana, But if you like it where you can actually tell the little chunks, you could do that as well. Then add in your mix and just make sure it's all combined. Now, I did this in 3 medium-sized loaf pans and it took about 35 minutes. You could do 2 large loaf pans. That would be fine, but you'll just have to adjust your cooking. It may take a little bit more. I check these with a toothpick, and if it comes out clean, it's done. But the big kicker is you always want to let it rest, let it cool for 5 to 10 minutes before slicing. And my original plan was to eat 2 of these and freeze one of them for later, but it was so yummy, we ended up eating all 3 over the week. Now, you could obviously skip the funfetti part and just use any cake mix that you have. The next time I make this, I'm going to do it with carrot cake because I really think that'll turn out well, but I also think like a spice cake. You could even do like a chocolate cake and make it a little bit more healthy because it's got extra fruit in it. Whatever you want to do. Now, if you follow me over on Facebook, which you should do, I always post what I have for dinner, and people notice that I always add a little bit of fruit to my plates. Now, the reason I don't include fruit in the menu unless I think it really needs it for a certain dish is because no matter what fruit I pick, somebody's going to say, I hate that fruit. It always happens. So I started adding these low-cost fruit options. These are ones that are either on sale or just come out to a really good price. Now, you'll notice that apples and oranges are on sale. Citrus has been on sale for a couple weeks now. Pineapple prices are going down right now. And sometimes I'm finding berries like blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries on sale. So I usually try to get 2 to 3 fruits each week and then kind of mix and match them. So that way it's not always strawberries or always blueberries. I kind of just mix them up together and it makes it a little bit more exciting. You can also mix your fresh fruits with like canned fruits or frozen fruits just to kind of switch it up a little. Now, if you've made it all the way this far, I just want to tell you thank you. I really appreciate you watching my channel and interacting with my content. Make sure to leave me a comment below and tell me, have you ever made any, similar to these recipes? Is this something that you would probably make in the future? And I hope you'll have a wonderful weekend, and I will see you next week. Bye.